talk about photography today. We're going to talk about photography. Photography is an art. Now, a lot of people have been asking me about photography. So this is basically like a small photo wall that I've created. These are images that I've clicked over the years of friends, family, my dog, places I've traveled to. Whenever I walk into this room, I actually get to see all these and I try and remember, this happened in the summer of 2014 or whenever. When you start clicking good pictures, it's just that amazing high that you get. Some of the pictures that I click are on my Instagram. A lot of people actually end up liking my pictures. Now the truth is, I am not a full-time photographer and I have also never trained in photography professionally. The only photography knowledge that I possibly have is I think from my dad, because I used to play around with his camera when I was a kid. Over the years, making mistakes, being critiqued by friends and family, I have actually grown into becoming a way better photographer than I initially was. It's an art that anyone can start practicing and at any point of the day. You don't have to actually wait to go out to a vacation to start taking pictures. The idea is to start somewhere and you don't really need an expensive camera. You can actually start with your phone. If you don't have a phone, grab your friend's phone who has a better camera, and if you really want to start, I really don't think you should find excuses and instead go find a camera and go find something to film and start shooting. This has been a very self-learning experience all my life. Just through the experience of doing things that I have learned how to get better, and I've been doing this for almost about 10 years. You could be a beginner picking up your camera for the very first time, going out there and filming something today, or you could have been actually filming and capturing a lot of things over a period of time and you want your images to really stand out. I'm going to share my basic 5-step workflow which I follow. So the first thing that I'd like to advise is to start looking for a story. Most of you might just end up saying, why do we have to look for a story when we're clicking a picture? It's not a video, it's not a film. In a video, your frames come and go. In 1 second, we have 25 frames or even 30 frames, depending on the frame rate that you're shooting at. But then an image stays, it's stationary. So my idea would be to always look for a story so that a person who's actually seeing your picture gets to see that story. He doesn't know anything about where you've been, what camera you were filming this on. At the end of the day, it's the image that you see. No one's speaking, you can't hear music, you don't have special effects. Okay, you have a little bit of special effects that you can put in through Photoshop or other tools, but one image has to be powerful enough to come out as a story. So I'm going to pull out this image from my Instagram. This is the shot of a moon, the very popular pink moon. At that point in time, I didn't have a great tele lens, but then I was trying to look for a story. I was trying to figure out I don't have a 400mm or a 600mm. I was stuck in lockdown thanks to Corona, but then I still wanted to click a picture. So my idea was to try and keep the moon in out focus and try and capture a picture of a leaf to actually give people a message saying, for the time being, let's not focus and go all the way to the moon. Let's focus on what we have in front of us. We were all dealing with a situation which was so tense. So that was my story. And automatically, if you find a way of telling a story, then you know the next steps are to find the right tools to tell that story. Just go out there and tell the stories, because that's where you are going to make your picture stand out from the rest of the pictures that are there. Point number 2 is get your settings right. Your settings include your exposure settings, the ISO, shutter and the aperture. The other thing that you need to do is to get your focus right. You don't want to shoot overexposed or underexposed. If you have an object which is stationary, like you want to just click a picture of landscape, a signboard, or you want to click a picture of a bike, you might want to stick to manual focus where you get your depth of field correct. That's what I like to do. When you're actually moving around and there's some motion involved, you might want to rely on your autofocus of the camera. Depending on your camera's autofocus sensitivity, it's actually going to depend a lot on that. Now my idea has always been that you shoot well, so that really saves you a lot of time in your post-production. And now point number 3 that I always follow is to try and look for new angles and new perspectives. Now you have 360 degrees. It does not always have to be me sitting right in front of the camera, which actually I am right now. I'm sitting right in front of the camera, but that's to get my communication across to you guys. The actual point that I'm trying to make is you can actually shoot from a profile, you can shoot from the top, you can shoot from a very low angle. It's a situation that can become more and more beautiful based on the angles that you're actually trying to capture your image from. Now for example, I was in London sitting and having beer, and right in front of me was the Great London Bridge. Now every single person who goes to London most definitely films the London Bridge. So I actually got all my shots of the London Bridge, which anyone and everyone would have got. But then while having beer, I was just playing around with my GoPro, and I don't know what happened, what struck me, and I was like, wait a minute. And I just put my GoPro right here, and I got my glass up, and I could still see the London Bridge. And for me, that image looked like one of the most different perspectives of the London Bridge. And to my fortune, this very picture ended up at the National Geographic Your Shot selection, and it won. Look out for perspectives, create your own, and come out with an image unexpected. That's what's going to make your photography stand out a notch better. Point number 4, very simple, is to just be aware. You need to use your location to the max. It's just when you tell yourself that you're going to go out there in a location and find out whatever you have and use it to your max is when you're going to get your amazing image. Not every time is that you're going to get a perfect location with amazing lighting, but you still want to max out your location, your light source, whatever you have in hand. So for example, you find a stone, you want to use it as a foreground, so you can just keep it in front of your camera, design a shot in a way that you know you want to just place it here, and it almost feels like it's a wall standing. So there's so much you can do with the location that you have. Keep your eyes open, be very observant, because I think a good photographer needs to also be very, very observant. A lot of things are not your subject, but a lot of things are just the background, just the foreground. So many people who are actually doing some great stuff based on what they have in their location. A lot of us have not been able to get out of our home, but then there are so many amazing elements that you actually have inside your home. Use it to your advantage. Until and unless it's bothering your line of thought in the photography that you're actually trying to perceive, keep your eyes open and bring out the best that you can in the location that you have. Now this brings me to the last point, is once you've actually now captured your image, spend some time in giving it your touch. Now when I say giving it your touch, is color correcting it or processing it. A lot of people just think what they've clicked is very close to perfect, but you can add a lot more because of technology today, because of the kind of apps that we have. Add that professional touch to your images, which is going to make your image really stand out, and you can actually create your own style. For instance, if you go to my Instagram, you're going to see a lot of different images which have one thing in common: they're colorful. That's my style. My style is to actually try and bring out the best colors. My uniformity comes from the fact that each image has a different color space. Spend some time, color correct your image, give it your own personal touch. That's what's going to be my advice for you guys. Now this is not an in-depth tutorial, but this is the most basic yet the quickest format of a workflow that I use in getting my pictures right, which I thought could be really helpful for you. A lot of people ask me a lot of questions on Instagram as to where they could go out and learn photography. Is there a particular course that they can take? Honestly, as much as I want to help, I can't, because I haven't taken them myself. Like I said in the start of the video, I have never gone out and taken a professional course. Everything that I've done in photography, including my images getting published on Nat Geo, Scoop Whoop, Times of India, Vogue, and a bunch of other places, has happened through practice, through experience. This video was specially created in order to give you my 5-point basic workflow. Now there are a lot of other things that I follow, including setting my exposure in a certain way. If I want to do low light photography or wildlife photography, I'm going to change my lenses, I'm going to change my overall settings. Now that is pretty in depth, but that is not what you're going to start with. What you're going to start with is what I just shared with you, these 5 points. And now the one very important thing that I'm going to add on in the end is you don't really have to use all the 5 points. Now sometimes you already have a great story. Maybe you're just going out there and you have an amazing hunt happening in a jungle and you want to capture that. You're lucky, you have the story, you just maybe need to add point 2, point 3, point 4, point 5. For example, you have an amazing location, the light is set, everything is already done for you, you have a story. All you need to do is check on point 2, which is your focus and your exposure, point number 5, which is your color correction. So you don't really always have to use all the 5 points. Sometimes these points are going to come out to you in a platter. You just want to like choose, okay, I already have this, now I'm going to add the other 2 things that I saw in that video, and I'm going to just put them together so that I have my final image, which looks like this. So go out there, click amazing pictures. I'm going to leave a bunch of pictures that I've clicked recently. Check them out. Leave your comments in telling me what you think about this short little workshop. Leave your comments if you want to know about anything else. It could be anything, guys. What camera I use, what settings I use, how I set my exposure, how do I think of a story. There could be a bunch of questions. If I was you, I probably would have had a lot of questions. I always have a lot of questions, and I am not perfect. I'm still learning. So keep learning. More than that, at least start now, because if you haven't started photography yet and if you don't like clicking pictures, guys, you're really missing out on something very amazing, because the feeling of capturing photographs and making them into memories is an amazing feeling. There's no other better way of actually reminding yourself or anybody else in your family or friends that this happened on this particular day and I have an image of it. So I think having an image of almost everything is a great feeling, and making them look really sharp and your style is going to be even better. Do not forget to subscribe to this channel for more videos. It's finally that I found time to actually sit back and create these videos for you. For now, I'm going to leave my coordinates and this gallery of images that I've clicked very recently. Hope you enjoy. Take care. And now I'm losing my mind.